There was a story in Florida today about how some of the city races and other local elections that are technically they're nonpartisan, you're starting to see more party activity in those races. I think that the headline there is that you've got these Bernie backers who have taken over the Democratic Party and they're trying to get somebody elected somewhere. What do you make of that? Is it such a wrong thing?
Well, I don't think they're breaking any laws. Election law is pretty clear, and it often gets challenged. But when volunteers are phone banking and, promoting candidates, to their supporters, this is who you should vote for, as long as there's no coordination with the candidate, then I don't think they're really breaking any laws. Now, going to the spirit of why we have nonpartisan races versus partisan races, I would argue that particularly in Brevard County, because we've always been so traditionally Republican, that's twofold. That's why the local Democrat activists need to try to recruit and get people elected at the municipality level, because they can't get people to run for these higher partisan offices because they don't have a bench, so to speak. They don't have enough, locally elected Democrats that would then want to run for higher office. So I understand why they want to support this, but it might backfire for them a little bit because, when, our very Republican-leaning community starts to research and look into candidates, being backed by the local DEC for a nonpartisan race, might, bounce back and hurt them. One thing that candidates find very quickly is that just like churches, you can't pick your followers. And so sometimes those who are speaking out on your behalf or those who choose to line up behind you, that might not always help further your cause. But I, for one, think that the more people who get involved in our elections, the more contested elections we have, rather than just an incumbent running unopposed or a primary on one side of the aisle determining a race, I don't think that's good for democracy, because we certainly want to see, as many people in the community have their voices be heard. So they just need to be careful, in how they approach it. And I think it's really on the candidates themselves to stand on their own 2 feet. And if the local Democrats have an activist base that's, going to be turning out volunteers this year, and that's wonderful. They haven't had that for a long time in Brevard County. So, we'll see where it leads.
What do you make of it, Tina?
I had to run as a nonpartisan candidate, so I have my own opinions about what I think about nonpartisan races, and I understand the spirit of them. Education should be nonpartisan, judges should be nonpartisan, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me because we're human beings and we have ideas and we have opinions, and the public deserves to know, a lot about us. They don't need every last little nook and cranny detail. They'll ask, but judges can't even say what political party they belong to. And I have a problem with that. I want to know their history. I want to know what they believe. And if they've joined a political party, they believe some pretty principles that align in one direction or the other. Right. And I think that's important information to get out for the public to see. So do I have a problem with the Democrat Party out campaigning for nonpartisan races? Absolutely not. It's their duty to support the candidate that they think is going to represent them and their values and what they stand for.